Good evening, everyone. My name is Edlyn, and I'm from Bandar Puchong Gospel Center. I've always wanted to come for RBS. I think I'm talking too loud. I've always wanted to come for RBS ever since I was a young kid. So I guess me being here is kind of like a dream come true. But at that time, right, I thought RBS was just this really long youth camp. But now, if Colin, our principal, hears you say the word camp, he'll straight away come after you and force you to change it to the word school. So RBS is indeed very much a school. But so far, it's been the only school that I've ever enjoyed going to. But yeah, here comes the a bit mellow part. So to be honest, I had quite a tough time in RBS. I guess I came with pretty high expectations that everyone who comes to RBS will be completely transformed. And I think I was expecting to sort of re-experience being spiritually high again. But weeks after RBS had passed, and I still didn't feel like I was a different Christian. Even during morning devotions, when it was supposed to be a time where we can hear God speaking to us through the passages, very often I had trouble gaining new insights, even though I was trying very, very hard to focus. I couldn't find out what was wrong, and I kept telling God again and again, please speak to me, please speak to me. But after a lot of effort, it still felt as if God was silent. And it troubled me quite a lot because I thought something was wrong with me. It was to the point where I was at a Bible school, but I couldn't feel God's presence with me. After giving it much thought and talking to some people, I realized that I was missing out a very important element during my daily communion with God. I had laid my own selfish expectations on Him instead of just having faith and patiently waiting on the Lord. I came to Him with worry and expectations instead of just being still and knowing that He is God. This phrase is actually quoted from Psalm chapter 46, verse 10, which so happens to also be our first devotion passage of RBS. So after this realization hit me, I really started to always be still before the Lord and acknowledge His kingship over everything in my life. That my quiet time with Him wasn't just about me, but it's all about Him. From then on, I began to sense God speaking to me in different unexpected ways, but that would be a whole different testimony by itself. So during the course of RBS, I also had the privilege of serving in the student council. I had the role of being the prayer coordinator. So naturally, every time someone says the word pray, it will always catch my attention. I admit that at first, I was more passionate towards prayer because it was sort of my job. I believe now that God had a purpose for putting me in this position because the more actively I was praying, the more I knew about the power of prayer that I've never experienced throughout my whole life of praying. I've always felt shy to pray for others, especially for my non-Christian friends, because I was scared to be perceived as, you know what they call that one overly holy friend, and I thought I wasn't good at praying, like shaping my words. So the only time I would pray out loud is when I can be completely alone, or at the dining table with my family, or at church. But now that I've been praying a lot with people in RBS, I experience the joy in knowing that a group of my friends are praying for me and supporting me, and it makes me feel less alone in my struggles. In fact, it was the prayers and encouragement from my RBS mates that helped me get through my down times in RBS. So thank you. And right now, I think that prayer is the best thing I could do for someone. I also had the opportunity to serve in Seremban Gospel Chapel for Mission Week. And just to cut the story short, I had to teach a Bible class for a group of youth in only Mandarin, and that was something that was really out of my comfort zone because I stopped taking Mandarin in school 3 years ago. My friends tell me that my Mandarin sounds like I came from the United States. So things weren't looking too great for my mission team at first. We got scolded, we were really worried, and things just looked, the future of where this team is going was a bit unclear. But God is faithful. He answered all of my team's earnest prayers, and everything went smoothly. God also gave me the words to speak to the youth, and I did way better than I expected for all the classes that I taught. And there were many leaders and elders of the church coming to tell me that you have a gift in teaching, you should continue this gift, you should keep on serving. And that was something that I never knew myself. So to conclude, RBS was really a place that helped me to grow out of my comfort zone. And I realized the importance of having an amazing Christian community around you to encourage you and support you in your journey of faith. In response to that, I also want to be an encourager by using prayer as my main tool of encouragement to those around me, even if it requires me to step out of my comfort zone. My faith doesn't need to be made strong when God is always active and present, but in every season of my spiritual journey, I shall be still and know that He is God. Thank you.